We back like we never left, man. It's the Terradome UFC 275. Glover Teixeira versus Yuri Prohashka. Then we also got Valentina Shevchenko versus Tyler Santos. We got a rematch of possibly, I put it in my top 5 greatest fights of all time, in Zhang Wei Li versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk in a 3-round guaranteed banger. This is like this is the woman version of Chandler Gaethje, basically. It's just gonna be a banger. Uh, I mean, this card is stacked from top to bottom. I've said it before. I'll say it again. This one is really magnifique. We lost a couple guys like Manel Kopp and Bontarin got taken out late. Blood Diamond, who I really wanted to see what he would come back as, he got taken out as well. But other than that, I really think this is gonna be a banger from top to bottom. I'm gonna only delve into the main card with this one just because there's too much shit going on. I've changed it up twice, 2 or 3 times doing the videos, so I'm kind of very late on this because I had to do it the day of, so it kind of makes it a lot more crazy. But other than that, man, we here. Like, what else do we want, man? We got fucking Stephen A. Smith, Jocelyn Edwards at the bottom on the prelims, starting it off. We got Jack Della Maddalena on the main card. You know, I mean, come on. We got Fialho finally made it to the main card. Brendan Allen, we see what Brendan Allen does. You know, all that. I think this is gonna be a great card from top to bottom. I'm gonna get right into it, man. What else you need? What else you need, man? I'm back, and I'm sorry I've been off so much. I've been hella busy, hella new life experiences in my fucking life. But we here to get drunk and watch fights. What else do you need? I'm gonna get right into it, man. With the shit that's getting the main card popping. We got Della Maddalena, JDM versus Ramazan Imaev. I think it's Imaev when it's 2 E's. I think for the Russians, I think it's Imaev. You know, come on, I'm out here pronunciations of the week, like I'm on Anakin and Florian. I'm gonna get right into it. I just think JDM is a lot better. I just think he's gonna be better all around, and I know a lot of people have been kind of worried about JDM's ground game, but Imaev is a nice wrestler. He's not special to the point where I believe he's gonna hold JDM down for 3 rounds. And I think he's a veteran. Don't get me wrong, and anything can happen when you got a young guy going against a vet. But I just think he's too many problems for JDM to give to Imaev, and he just makes too many clean moves. He makes too many. His striking is so slick. He moves in, and he moves out, and he's gone. And I gotta take him. I would take the JDM for KO plus 170. But if you want to be safe, I would take him on the money line. I think it's like minus 140 or something right now. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but it's a nice little chunk of change. You feel me? Nice little chunk. You put 30 on it. You just want to make a little something, throw it in the parlay. You might make that to 100. Who knows? That's what I'm here to give you. Here you give you the gifts. Also, we got another gift because the fucking low-key KO king, Andre Fialho, is fucking fighting on the main card versus Jake Matthews. Now, Jake Matthews, when I was like starting to get really into this and during high school, Jake Matthews was the guy that everybody's pushing up as the next Australian fighter to be a champ, to be a great, just a top 10, top 5 guy that would be dominating and fighting in the UFC for years. Now, he's fought in the UFC for years, but he's had a lot of ups and a lot of downs. And I just don't. And the thing is, it always seems like he can never put it together. He's got nice wrestling. He's got an okay striking game. Like, he's well-rounded, but not well-rounded enough, if you get what I'm saying. He can't. There's nothing where he can, he's next level at, where you're like, oh, okay, I got to worry about he's got nice striking, but I really have to worry about his wrestling. It's nothing like that with Jake Matthews. And Fialho, he's good at getting back up. He's good at fighting off his back foot. He's an amazing counter striker. Like, that left hook, that left hook he hit Baeza with was one of the cleanest hooks of the year, and one of the cleanest punches of the year, period. And I just think he's just gonna do the same thing to Jake. Jake's gonna feel that power, and when Jake gets hit hard, he freezes and he kind of loses sense of what he needs to be and what he needs to be doing. And I think that's exactly what's gonna happen here. Fialho's gonna catch him, and I would say Fialho early KO. I would say Fialho early KO round one. You might get that like plus 300. Make you a little chunk of change. You feel me? You go with you pair that with the JDM I just gave you. And you throw that onto the Fialho, you might have just made a nice little 150 while you sat there and watched fights. I'm just doing what I got to do. What else? I can't even give you more on that fight because that's all I have. That's all I have. Let's move on to the juice. What we watch the UFC countdowns for. Let's get to the big fights. Zhang Weili versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Sorry if I could pronounce that wrong, but I don't think this. I can't say that this will compare to the first one. It's unfair to say that fight, who I think is one of the top 5 fights ever, is going to compare to something that it's going to be 3 rounds. Joanna's been off for a little bit. Zhang Weili's kind of added different techniques to her game, and different areas of her game have really improved. And I think this is going to be not a lot different, but you're going to see a lot more grappling in this fight. And I think Joanna, don't get me wrong, I think she has been working. I think she has been grinding. Like, there's no doubt about it. Like, she looks in shape for this fight. But I also think that the ring rust is real. You can't fake that. You can work and train all you want, but going into that mindset of, all right, I'm about to go into this for 15 minutes and bust my ass. Not against a training partner, but against somebody that's really trying to knock my head off. And that's exactly what Zhang Weili's coming to do. She's not going to come there to play the pity pat game that Joanna wanted to do in that first fight. She wanted to play the pity pat game where she stuck and move and got in and out and hit her with a 1-2, and then snuck out and come back with a leg kick or something like that. And when she started to do that consistently, Zhang Weili started to time her shit. And then when she started to time her and get Joanna to stay in that pocket for that extra second, every time Zhang Weili landed something hard. And I know a lot of people thought Joanna won. I watched it probably 4 times this last two weeks, just because it's a fucking banger. And like, you could just put that on while you're doing something and just look up every 30 seconds. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. They were throwing haymakers the whole fight and nobody got dropped, which was absolutely amazing. I know it's a women's fight, so the power isn't as the same, but Zhang Weili hits like a fucking truck. And Joanna is so clean and so technical that a lot of times she can just put people away because she's so technical and she can hit people in the right spot. I just don't think she'll be able to do that with Zhang Weili. She's been getting so much better at creating openings and creating different avenues, different options for herself. She's very good at getting in range, and then, okay, I can sneak in a grapple off of this and sneak in a double underhook and get you on your ass. Or I can sneak in, hit you with a right hook, and maybe hit you with the uppercut when you think I'm coming with an underhook. And look what happens. Now you're down. Now you're sitting there wondering what the hell. Now you're like, damn, wait, what the hell did just happen? I thought we were standing up. I think Joanna's going to come in thinking this is going to be a stand-up fight for the most part. And I think Zhang Weili is going to be like, I'm here to win the belt. So, and she knows that this is the chance. If Zhang Weili wants that belt, she has to win now. Not saying that she won't ever get that chance again, but this is a perfect opportunity. You fight a person who's been off for 2 years. They're not going to be, Joanna's going to have to take some time to get back into the fight. She's not going to come in throwing fucking crazy combinations off rip. I don't think that's what she's going to do. And I think that's going to be the problem in this fight. I think she's going to be able to hit Weili with that jab and get that shit popping a little bit, But I don't know if she's going to be able to consistently add on top of that with 2s, 3s, 4s, and like she was able to against Weili in the first fight. And if those opportunities like shorten up even a little bit for Joanna, I think she'll just freeze up. And I think Joanna is a world beater, one of the greatest women fighters we have today and of all time. But Wei Lee is an animal, and she was she closed. I mean, just to see how quickly she closed that gap between her and Rose from that first fight to the second fight. And I know it was a quick knockout in the first one, but she looked like a completely different fighter from before the Rose fight to the second Rose fight.
being so, being so active, being in 5 round chess matches with fucking Rose back to back. Well, not well, the first one wasn't a chess match, but you get what I mean. You get what I mean. She's had to gear for 25 minutes back to back, and she's been grinding with Cejudo and her new camp, trying to make herself 10 times better. So when she gets that opportunity for the belt again, she dominates and she keeps that belt. So, and I think Joanna's been grinding 100%, but she's also she that you can't recreate that fight feeling. You can put yourself in 30-minute uh training sessions, sparring sessions with your partner. You can put yourself in high pressure situations where you're putting yourself on your back, and but you are not gonna feel that same power, that same intensity that John Wei Lee brings. And I think that's gonna be the difference. And I think with John Wei Lee being so much more confident in her game and more well rounded now than ever, I think that she's just so strong that what I said in the first row would happen in the first Rose matchup was gonna happen here. I think she's just gonna be too aggressive. She's gonna take that center of the octagon, and she's gonna work Joanna and make Joanna have to find openings and to find, all right, I have to somehow create something off of the jab, and she's not able to create anything off that jab. And I just think it's gonna be too hard of her trying to get into the fight, and John Wei Lee's already going to be going, and I think that's just going to be I think that's just going to be the issue there. I think she's just going to be there's just going to be too much for her to catch up to, and I really love Joanna. I think she's destined to fight for that belt again, but I just don't think now's the time. I think if she had a warm up fight going into this and had some time to get ready, I think she would have had a chance. But this is just too much. So I gotta take John Wei Lee. Take John Wei Lee money line. That's all I'm gonna say. I went really long on that, but that's just because I'm not gonna go too far on to the next one. I think John Wei Lee is destined to fight for that strawweight belt again. It's the co-main event: Valentina the Bullet Shevchenko versus Tyler motherfucking Santos. I don't know her nickname, so she's Tyler motherfucking Santos, and I I think this is going to be her toughest test yet. I think there are many ways for Tyler to win and to lose this fight. I think she's the toughest test for Valentina. If you know me, you know I love Valentina to death. That's the reason I'm saying this, because I know that Tyler is just that different. She is the new wave of fighters where they're very good everywhere. It's just like we were talking about earlier with Zhang Wei Li. She's just gotten very good everywhere, and she's gonna keep improving. And I think that's gonna happen with Tyler Santos. But I also think Tyler Santos isn't ready. Um, I think she's very good everywhere, like I said, and that's the one thing you have to be to beat Valentina. You have to be very good everywhere on the ground, stand up, grappling, in the clinch, all that. But the experience and the fact that Valentina isn't Amanda Nunez, and I know we have called Amanda Nunez is the greatest women's fighter of all time. Don't get me wrong, but that's just because of her power. Like the Bulls were the greatest team ever, but kind of because of Michael Jordan. Just kind of because of that, and Scottie Pippen, kind of because of that 1-2 punch. If one of those guys in there, maybe they don't win all those. And when Amanda isn't on point, she you can unravel her. Juliana Pena did that. But the thing is, Valentina is a machine. She's constantly working on top of consistently doing the same thing. She's fighting 2 fights every year, defending her belt every year twice, and consistently building, going to different gyms, training to get to different things, just to figure out how to make myself better at a point where she's the best in her weight class by far. So I think just that alone makes it tough for me to believe that Tyler Santos is gonna have that unbelievable game changing thing. And against Joanne Wood, she was very good and very concise and clean with her punches, but she was also very predictable. But the thing with Joanne Wood is if you put pressure on Joanne, she doesn't have the head movement or the fight IQ to move out and get out the way. So when she got banged up against that cage with that right hand, everybody kind of did the same thing when they seen that. Everybody's just like, oh yeah, kind of. If you do that to her, that's usually what happens. Because Joanne has all the potential, but she doesn't have it up here, and that's what. And Tyler Santos is very good, and she does have it up here, but she also she makes mistakes. She makes mistakes of someone that isn't ready. You know, you just she kind of forces the action a little bit, and kind of against Maria Rosa Barella, where she lost that split decision, she could have won that fight easily. In that third round, where she kind of forced herself to believe that she was, or her coaches forced her to believe that she needed to go harder to win that fight, and she made herself extend a little bit more and she got herself worn out. What's gonna happen in the fourth round of this fight if she's losing 2-1 and her coaches are telling her, you gotta go out, you gotta take these rounds from her, you need to take these rounds from her, we need to go at all costs, and she overexerts herself and leaves herself open. She's gonna look like Lauren Murphy, where either she's gonna be very hesitant, or she's gonna look like fucking what's her name, Jessica I, where she just was like, I'm gonna get in your face and pressure you by all means, any way possible, and get caught with a head kick or get caught with a left hand, and that left hook or that check right hook from Valentina is so clean that I don't know if Tyler's gonna be able to, unless she's very good at keeping her at range. I don't see her winning this fight. I would take Valentina I would take her either by sub, by sub and points, which is like minus 105 or some shit like that, or straight up just say, fuck it, I'll just take her by points straight up. You probably get that like plus 100. You know, there's no other way to bet this fight unless you're betting Tyler Santos with that plus 400. Because other than that, I don't. It's minus 600 is too. I don't know what type of money y'all playing with, but that's too rich for my blood. And I just think that at the end of the day, Valentina's going to be too much, and she's going to put the pressure on Tyler, and she wins by decision. I would say it won't be dominant. I'm going to give her, I would say 49-46. It's the main event. Glover Teixeira versus Yuri Prochazka. And the light beamed up a little bit because I got a little bit of an affinity for Yuri. Since his rising days, I have thought Yuri was destined to be a UFC champion. He's everything the new age is looking for. He's fast. He's always in a flow state. He's very aggressive, but also he moves in and out, so it looks very slick and very smooth. And he does little wild, crazy spin moves. Everything you would want to see. But also, he has his issues. The ground game being the biggest issue, and that was sort of the big thing with Jan. And I picked Jan against Glover, and I really believed that Jan was gonna beat Glover. Glover was too old, and he was too slow. You know, like he was just not gonna be able to catch up with whatever he was throwing at him, and Glover would kind of break, and Jan would finish him. It would kind of be one of those sad, but well, this is what we have to do things, you know, like we seen with DC versus Stipe. That's my cat's paw. Uh, I just think that it's just too hard for Yuri to not go to the ground for 5 rounds. And I don't think this is a point where it's like Izzy versus Jan, where if he gets on the ground, he's gonna be stuck. But fuck, getting away from under Glover is it's no easy task. It's no easy task. At this point, he has reached his control time is like Islam levels. When he gets a guy to the ground, he doesn't let them up. Um, and I just don't see if Yuri gets to the ground, his ground game is not anywhere advanced enough to use sweeps to get himself out or submissions. Like Jan, like I think it's similar to what we saw with Jan on his back. Jan tried to use a Kimura lock to get himself off his ass, and Glover read that shit easily and turned that into him grabbing his back, and he subs him. You know, it's just basic things to a guy who knows advanced level shit. You know, when you're a white, like when you're a white belt rolling in your jujitsu class and you go up against a brown belt that's your teacher or some shit, you roll against him, and you're like, oh, this is why I'm not close to graduating, because we're in different stratospheres right now. And I think that's just gonna be what happens on the ground with Glover and Yuri. I thought, yeah, I get the same. I said the reason I said I get the same pit in my stomach is because I felt that same thing. I felt that, well, if Glover gets going, Jan has a tendency to break, and I don't think Yuri has that same mental fragility that Jan has had throughout his career, but he does have that same ability to get his ass hit with shit that he does not need to get hit with. Against Dom, there was a lot of times when Dom was hurt and just needed to get space, and he would just use that left hand, his left hand to create space, and every time Yuri would just run into it just because he's like, whatever, I'll eat it and then just throw my punches because I'm 27 years old or whatever, and I can just eat shit, you know? And you can't do that against Glover because Yuri got hurt a couple times against Dom. And if you get those wobbly legs against Glover, guess what? He's either putting you on your ass with his hands or he's putting you on your ass with a takedown. And like I said earlier, it's just too many variables for me. I just too many ways for Glover to win, and I can only see Yuri winning in round 1 or 2. I don't see Yuri winning a decision. I don't. But this fight could go to decision, and the only way I see it winning by decision is by Glover. And Glover is smart enough that he did that in the first round against Jan. He took him down and said, "Let me take a round. I'm use my ground and pound and see if I can advance position, maybe get something off. But if not, I'll just dominate for a round." And that's exactly what he did. And I think Yuri's gonna make a couple big mistakes in this fight, and that'll lead to his downfall. I don't think Yuri's by any means not championship material. But styles make fights. And Glover, you have to be methodical and smart and patient against Glover because he'll give you that opening. Gustafsson was very patient against him. He sat there and waited back, and then boom, 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 that uppercut just kept hitting Glover. And you can find Glover's weaknesses, but you have to be patient to find them. And I don't think Yuri's that type of patient, and I think he's gonna try to rush in and try to take him out early. And unless he puts Glover on his ass early, I think this is gonna be a long night. I think it's gonna be a long night for Yuri, and I don't think this is gonna be anything special of a fight because I think Glover knows what to do to win, and I think he's gonna do that. I think he's gonna put Yuri. I keep saying Yuri and Jan, so it's kind of fucking up my brain right now. But I think Yuri's just gonna run into that buzzsaw of those hooks from Glover, and if he gets any bit hurt and it goes to the ground and he's hurt and he's trying to buy time, that's when you get subbed against Glover, and I think that's exactly what's gonna happen. And I really love Yuri, but he's running into a buzzsaw, and I think that when it comes down to it, we got the man for the job in Glover. took a long way to get to this road, but he is a champ and he should be the champ for a reason. And he showed that against Jan. He showed that before against Smith, Santos. You know, I just think he's at a different level now, and I think he's gonna put Yuri away. And I think Yuri's very good, and I think he's an elite level guy. But this is what we're seeing now, man. These guys are at different levels, and I don't. And it's not to say that Yuri never will be there, but I just think he's at a different level, and I think it's going to be very tough for Jan to figure that out. I mean, for Jan, it's going to be very tough for Yuri to figure that out. Sorry, I'm just catching myself off that, but I'll take Glover. Either if you want to take the Yuri KO, I would take that round 1 or 2 just for the juicy money, and then hedge that. Because I would hedge that with the FanDuel KO or sub for Glover plus 330. I mean, if you hit on one of them, you win it. You win it no matter what. So, or you want to be safe, do the KO, do the sub and points. You know, be a safe dog. It'll probably be like plus 250 or some shit like that. I just really think that's what's gonna happen. I love Glover. I really think he's at a different level now. He's very sure of himself and very sure of his game. I think he dominates. Other than that, man, like, let's enjoy the night of fights. Like, I mean, fuck. You know, we ain't had it feels like we ain't had a pay-per-view in like 3 months, but we here. And I think at the end of the day, this is gonna be one of the best cards for action period. Not for the names, but for action period with this card. And I mean, it's UFC 275. 2 belts on the line. Rematch of the top 5 greatest fights ever in Zhang Weili and Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Also, we got Fialho the fucking train. I mean, JDM. I mean, Brendan Allen. All in. I mean, what else? What else do you need? I think it's going to be a great night of fights, man. Hopefully I win y'all some money. Hopefully I win y'all some happiness. You know, just maybe you internally picked these picks and you didn't even want to bet on them, or maybe you just enjoy me talking. If you did that, maybe, man, that's good, because kind of talking is trying to be my job, you know. So I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all just viewing me talking for fucking 25 minutes. So thank y'all, man. My pterodomites, you know. Let's get busy, get you a drink, get you a smoke, get you a little some of this, a little some of that, and then have a great night. You know, have a great night. Thank y'all. Good night. We out.